All right, well, welcome everybody, if we are live. Get the music going again. Welcome back to the next episode of Dragon Age, Fortune and Fate. Last time we left off, half the party died. Well, the survivor, who was basically just Marius, decided to fuck off and try and get passage onto a different city. Along the way, he found himself on a very shady ship vessel and decided to take matters into his own hands when he correctly deduced that it was filled with slaves or potential slaves. So he poisoned the crew with the mushrooms tainted with the darkspawn taint, turned them all into ghouls, and then helped slaughter them one by one. Several of the slaves would fight back, including two slaves who were caught by these ne'er-do-wells in their own misadventures. One of which is a noble from Ferelden by the name of, is it Percival?
Percival, yes.
And the other, a Orlesian exile by the name of Lucius. Along with the help of our friend Mosca, who is now going by a new name, Acedia, because, of course, he took the Darkspawn taint too. The four of them have kind of crash-landed the ship into the middle of the Wounded Coast, out onto the side of Ostwick in the Free Marches. Marius is now determined to head west, specifically to the city of Cumberland in Navarra.
And I'm following along because I need to make sure that he doesn't get up to, say, making more Darkspawn.
Well, I don't think he's going to make more Darkspawn, to be fair.
I don't know.
I thought it was to take me to the Chantry to get me help from the nuns. Because
yes, that would be the easiest way to keep you from ever making Darkspawn ever again.
To become tranquil with the Chantry? Yes. So when we last left off, Acedia, Marius, Percival, and Lucius were camping out. They got accosted by some wolves because we didn't have any wolf fights yet, so why not?
Of course.
And now they are, I guess, heading west. Although I have a question. Do you know the way to Cumberland?
I was going to follow the coast.
That's a good question.
I mean, following the coast is not the worst idea.
But would I know Cumberland, where Cumberland is, even though I haven't been there before? Is it well known enough to know the location of it?
Yes, I mean, you can do a cultural lore as well if you want, but basically it is one of the largest cities in Navarra. It is not like the capital, which is Navarra City itself, but Cumberland is well known as being one of two things in that area. The first is the fantastic College of Magi, which for those in the southern part of Thedas is considered one of the most prestige places you could be if you are a mage, along with the White Spire in Val Royeaux. Although currently the College of Magi right now is going through some problems because of the turmoil going on. And in Cumberland itself, you basically have one of the major trading hubs along the Waking Sea, along with the city of Val Royeaux, Val Cheven, Kirkwall, Ostwick, Amaranthine, and whatnot. All of these cities are basically massive hubs. What makes Cumberland so much more impressive is that it connects directly into the old Imperial Highway, which leads directly to both Orlais as well as Tevinter. So you have a lot of land routes, trade routes there. That highway also connects even further northwest into the Enderfells, of all places. It is like one of the last remnants of Tevinter power when they had the entire empire hundreds of years ago.
Hmm.
So the question now is, do you know the way there? You have to go through quite a few areas.
I suppose this
Not
would be a cunning check for navigation again.
Yes, that would be correct.
Let's give it a go. Let's see if I understand. 14.
Well, I mean, you're not familiar with this area at all because you're coming from Ferelden, but
Mm-hmm.
you've seen a lot of maps previously. You do know that the Vimark Mountains, where you are right now to the north, is probably not the best way to travel. If you follow the coastline, it does get like rocky and sheer. You have rocky and sheer cliffs here and there, but it is doable to get to Kirkwall this way. But the problem, though, is right after Kirkwall, you have the Planocene Forest, which is a little bit more difficult to navigate. The forest is kind of like a natural border between Kirkwall and Cumberland.
Mm-hmm.
And it could take several weeks to get through it if you know the way correctly. Marius, you pretty much deduce the same thing.
Well, it would be good if we supplied up a little bit, but let's see. Oh, there's actually a couple of different notes here. Wall gallows. Are we
Kirkwall.
actually on top of Kirkland right now?
No, I think we haven't reached Kirkwall yet.
Oh, right. We're all the way over there. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was our token for a second for some reason.
No, that just marks where Kirkwall is, the city.
Right, so if we intend to go this route, we'll have to continue all the way, get to Kirkwall, and then we'll probably need to supply for that entire part of the trek. Right now, what are we doing for supplies right now? I think we are just running off the supplies that we grabbed from the ship, I believe.
Pretty much. You have like maybe about half a week's worth of food and rations at the moment from the ship at this point.
Right. And should
Some
that make
weapons,
us all
some
the way to
money.
Kirkwall?
No, definitely not. It's going to take you at least 2 weeks, maybe.
Alright, so we will have to try to hunt along our way. We do have a lot of wolves we just killed, so we can maybe try to assault those up real quick, but who's actually good at doing that? Is that even a skill in this game?
Who wants to cut the choice meats?
You know what? I will, because I'm thinking of it.
Okay. I think it is a skill, and if not, I'll make it one.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I don't think I remember seeing that tag.
This is it's like one of the strangest things about this game. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in it, but it feels like there's also a lot of stuff that people do that you'll never see because they don't think of it.
Right, I guess it entirely depends on, like, the focus of the game. Like, it's a lot less expedition to Lich Mountain or something, and a little bit more, hey, here's some geopolitical stuff, and then you go and fight the demon.
Yeah.
Survival?
Yeah, I was thinking survival might be something
Well, I mean, I'm
similar
looking
to
for the
that,
word here. I
but I
ain't
don't
seeing
have it.
it.
So then I'm going to say it's going to be natural lore, cunning.
Natural lore cunning. Okay, so let's do a cunning. 13. All right.
I mean, you basically cube up like some of the wolves. The pelts are like pretty shredded at this point.
Mm-hmm. But of course, I'm not looking to get those, and at least the meat's there. So
Yeah, but you take that with some of the salt and things from the ship that you had. You're basically making wolf jerky.
yep, this ought to preserve and dry out along the way. And that should give us a few more days. In the meanwhile, we should at least keep our eyes out for any game we could get along the way.
Is there anything anybody wants to do while they're in the wilderness for now?
For right now, the only thing I can think this character wants to do is to just keep aware and not get ambushed by wolves.
That's a good thing to do.
So I am ready to continue on.
Okay. So you spend you basically spend the next couple of days just walking what you think is westward. Trying to go along the coastline, just scattered about. You see a couple of people here, mostly just seem like fishermen or like random traders. Small fishing shacks and homesteads are pretty common in this area as well.
Uh-huh.
Eventually, after 4.5, maybe 5 days of just walking west, you do come across a small fishing village.
Good. We could trade there for enough supplies to get us the rest of the way.
And you should see the village on your map right now.
Yup. So I'll go ahead and take out my token. Drop them right there.
So the village itself has a wooden sort of palisade across it. I guess to ward out unwanted beasts or travelers. You notice that it seems like it's not ramshackle, but it's definitely maybe not in the best of shape. There are a couple of stone structures. There's namely one stone sort of keep tower, and a few smaller stone buildings, but most of it seems to be made out of wood. There's makeshift docks and canoes and boats all over the place. They got fish gutting stations, tanning beds. Looks like it's a small group population of, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 people.
Makes sense. And then they just built their community around the solid stone structure as fortification. Makes sense.
Seems like a logical choice there.
Yep. And given that there's a palisade here, is it open, or is there a guard preventing us from getting in, or are we just allowed into the village?
Oh, it is locked, and you see and when I say locked, I mean it seems like it's barred. You hear activity, but nobody is guarding there, which is interesting.
Okay. I will go up to the gate and I will call out and announce myself. Hello, good sirs. I'm Percival Donovan from Ferelden. I'm here to visit your village and trade.
I need to roll a communication, please.
Yeah. I have persuasion and etiquette.
Use the etiquette for now.
With 6 stunt points.
Son of a bitch. All right.
It's weird suddenly having a talker.
I know.
You know what? Let's say stunned silence. Everyone is like, wait a second, we have a noble here? With sway the crowd. Everyone is very impressed that I am here. And let's say it's kind of witty and cool. Can't think of one to do. I don't know what Bon Mot actually does.
It's the Bon Mot would be oh, he said something funny.
Okay, so we'll just go with stunned silence and sway the crowd. Everyone is suddenly incredibly impressed. And perhaps does not even wait to open up for me.
Perhaps. You open up. You actually open. The gate opens. Nobody says a word, but the gate does open, and you see an elvish man there with a bow, saying, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Percival Donovan.
I've never heard of this name. What brings you here to our little homes?
I am from Ferelden, and I am traveling. I wish to exchange a large sum of gold for some of your for some additional food and supplies along the way. I'm traveling west to Kirkwald.
We usually don't speak to Shemlin. I must be honest.
Oh, well, I would hope perhaps you could make an exception for me and my companions for today. We intend you no trouble at all.
You know, it is very. Your manners are very kind, especially for your kind. Perhaps I should take you to the first.
If that's what you wish, then I shall speak with them.
Please follow me.
Do I
And
would I know who these people are?
roll a cunning historical lore. It's pretty easy though.
It's a bunch of like Dalish elves or something.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, like they have Venezian tattoos. They're wearing pretty solid leather, handcrafted areas like this. If you didn't know any better, these are Dalish elf. This is a Dalish elf. Maybe you found a Dalish elf camp of all things.
Mm-hmm.
Especially based off the dialect where you mentioned bringing you to the first, likely to their keeper.
Yeah.
In fact, and your suspicions are more or less confirmed when you go inside. You see what looks like 40 or so elves. Some of which are fishing, some of which are like making wood crafts. Others which have bows and are practicing in a makeshift archery range. And several children and men and women who are just talking to each other and whatnot.
Nice and pleasant.
They, well, you think it's nice and pleasant, but you notice like a lot of the children run away from you all as you walk in and like go inside. Several,
I'm technically wearing full plate armor.
yeah. Several people also look around. You know, a lot of the folks are looking at you with suspicion.
Of course,
You
of course.
you notice like several of like I guess the hunters, those that had bows and like swords and daggers and whatnot. They stopped their archery contest and now they're kind of just eyeing you carefully. Would be how I would describe it.
Right. Right now, I think Percival's just going to be cognizant of, say, not accidentally putting his hands next to his sword hilts or anything.
Possibly a good idea.
But I see we have a character dropped over here, so we're probably gonna walk through here and end up over here.
You eventually see two figures. Both, one is a young-looking, dark-skinned elf. Like as if his skin is like a very like tan color, like he's been in the sun for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The other is a relatively like a middle aged, like mid-40s woman elf with streaks of graying hair, and you notice that both of them carry staves.
Okay. Kind of noting that in my mind.
The first elf, the female says, "Greetings, Shem. My my runner Fuller there has said that you have kindly asked to visit our small home here."
Ah, yes. I've been traveling long and supplies are short. We're looking for enough to get us the rest of the way to Kirkwall.
Kirkwall, why? Oh, interesting place that you choose to go to.
Well, merely a stop along the way. We intend to supply up more there. I wouldn't want to drain your village of all the supplies we would need to get to our final destination.
Real quick, you're still using the previous roll with everything you had?
I would assume so.
Okay, because that's actually gonna be significant here.
I mean, unless you say roll again for these people.
You might have to soon, but not yet.
Okay. But today I have come with plenty of gold, and hopefully, if you're willing, I can exchange it for what we need.
Ignore the fact that it says raider. That's just the closest thing I have for approximation here.
Yeah, I know.
The woman says, "Well, I am Keeper Elendril.
It's a pleasure, Elendril. I am Percival Donovan.
This is my first Janshi." The
Uh,
the male elf nods, and he says, "We are a small clan." Yep, that's actually how you spell it,
Yay, I got it right.
and that's the other name. Um, we are a small clan, but we hope to avoid any issues, especially with other Shemlin around here. That's why we have set up walls here to try and adapt, if you will, to the ruggedness of this territory. The issues to the west have forced us to move on from where we were.
what issues?
The slaughter of well, there was a wholesale slaughter of a Dalish clan near the Sundermount about a year and a half ago,
I'm
and
sorry to hear.
yes, we don't know what caused it. Many rumors abound, whether it was Shemlin or demons, whatever it may be. We have kind of abandoned the forests to the west and moved eastward this way to try and strike a new area. We have settled here for the past 6 months and have started to try and turn it into more of a semi-permanent settlement for ourselves.
That's fairly unique for Dalish.
It seems a good place for it. This tower seems sturdy, and you built up extra fortifications around it. It's good thinking.
The tower is something that we still trying to figure out, says Jiangxi. It is definitely made by the hands of Shemlin, but most of the supplies in it were still intact. Strange things. It looked like skins of animals and bones and whatever it was. We don't know what it was for originally.
Huh. That's very strange. Um, I'm curious about the architecture. Who does it look like probably built this tower?
That's a valid question. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Or for some reason, it went dead in one of the ears.
I have military lore.
Would this be our historical?
I will allow military lore.
14.
This looks like it was originally a defensive Watergate tower that was used by Tevinter.
Alright, so
It's
the
like
tower's probably pretty old then.
oh, it is centuries old. You can just telling from the architecture, it is well crafted, well made, pretty sturdy, but you're starting to see the cracks. And what's interesting about it is it seems like the rest of the area was completely razed except this tower. Because you suspect that this basically is like a checkpoint for like maybe traders and whatnot going along the Waking Sea, since the location of the tower is very close to the coastline.
Right, it seems like some rough terrain like over back by the gates. So I would assume that yeah, you use the natural formation to force people down through this area.
Pretty much. And you Elendril actually says we do not have much in terms of trade. It is very rare we meet friendly folk such as yourself. But please, what did you wish to offer us?
Uh well, I have plenty of coin here, if that's what you need.
They look at each other and they say, "Coin is not necessarily something we use, to be honest."
I have some magic runes.
Oh, that perks up the two of them. I say, do you? What kind of ornaments?
So I have a rune of warding and a rune of spirit elements.
Magical runes. These are hard to come by.
You're just full of tricks, aren't you?
Well, really, because it seems they pop up every single time we get into a fight.
I'm sure the wolves had a couple of them too, didn't they?
It's almost as if they're easy treasure to give out.
I know.
The wolves digested them, and then they were in their guts when you opened them up.
Enchanted wolves, that'd be great.
I've used that excuse before, by the way. Like, you kill a random wolf, you get treasure. Oh, it digested a bunch of, like, gold coins or whatever. In a weird way, it does make sense. At least you're giving it logic. No, in all seriousness, though, she says, well, we can offer some supplies. We do have some fish. And some fish and some dried vegetables, if you wish.
Fish, vegetables, resupply ourselves on clean water.
Do you have a spare tent as well?
John She says we spare tents are very hard to come by, however, but perhaps maybe we can accommodate that. Please follow me.
And we're following.
You to like another area in the village. You see a Dalish woman who is like using like a tanning rack almost, and is like just creating canvases and tents. What you notice about them that makes them interesting is that they are elaborate in design, almost like as if it's like a sail-sized red tarp that she's working on.
Oh, this is some impressive embroidery.
Dalish crafting is second to none when it comes to what it can do.
And now that I've seen it, I believe it.
What you see here is the creation of a land caravel sail ship.
Ah, I see.
Are you familiar with the Aravel?
The Aravel. Well, not immediately, no.
The Aravel is what we often use to travel across territories around the world, around the forests.
Mm-hmm.
They're mobile housing and storage, usually powered by, pulled and powered by the natural beasts that we burden.
Ah, I see. Like a caravan, then. That makes sense.
Yes, yes. Many of you humans nickname them land ships.
I just like look at the sail and go, I think I could see why.
We have little need for land ships anymore. However, Tarina here, pointing to the craftswoman, keeps the tradition of creating them alive.
If nothing else, at least you'll have a few good sails in case you want to go out onto the waters and do some more fishing.
We don't need sails for the waters here.
They do seem rather calm. Every village along the way I've seen makes their livelihood that way. So I imagine the fishing's very good here.
It has been quite good, actually. Anyway, he says then to you, if you wish, we could allow you to purchase some of the sails that are being created here, and you can transform that into a tent if you wish.
Sure.
Percival just thinking in his mind, the Deventer Noble with the elven landship sail tent. Oh, it is to laugh. keeping that to myself, though. I don't think going, aha, he's a Tevinter noble in the middle of the elves will go over well.
I mean, they got an idea, but they also don't really care.
I mean, we've got an
Right.
accent, so they know.
Like, you lucked out. You found one of the, and you also made a very good roll in the beginning. But you found a clan that's at least somewhat nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, because if you, by the way, if you did that roll poorly, things would have gone a lot differently.
Oh, yeah. Ignore the Elvish Raider.
No, there'd be more at the Elish Raiders. John Shi actually says, "I will. We offer this as a token for you. Although, if it's possible, would you be willing to pay back in kind?"
How so?
A small matter.
Well, I'm all ears for returning kindness.
Along the up north, along the coastline, we stumbled upon like a good fishing spot, but it unfortunately has been a terrorizing place because of a creature that dwells within it.
What kind of creature?
That's the thing. We've never seen the beast before. It seemed like some giant snake, giant serpent.
About how large are we talking here? 6, 12 feet?
The survivors of our previous expedition against it mentioned it to be the size of 3 towers.
What?
That's, Percival just immediately goes into his mind and thinks, it's very big.
You sure it's not a dragon? Like, just...
No, it was definitely not a dragon.
Well, that's one relief, but how does a snake get that big?
I couldn't say. It seemed to be a sea serpent, however.
In a lake. I'm guessing it's a lake or a river?
No, it's along the coast of the Waking Sea.
Oh. It's a kraken.
So it strikes from the water, then.
Oh. Too bad we beached our boat.
Well, it's possible we could definitely lure it over closer to the shore and handle it then. It is just a beast. That shouldn't be too difficult. I'm already equipped for questing, and this seems like a fine opportunity.
If you are interested, if you are able to slay the creature, we would be definitely grateful.
Has it attacked while your party was fishing, or just while they were in the area?
Several times while we were out trying to fish. You can actually ask the people more if you wish, if they choose to speak of it.
Then I think that might be our first task, then. We'll see what everyone else can tell us about this beast, and then, with what we have, we'll try to arm ourselves and head out with a plan.
John Shi nods and he says, "You have free reign within the village. However, any acts of aggression or folly will cause you to be removed or worse."
Of course, I wouldn't think of hurting anyone here.
He nods and he says, "If you excuse me, then I must attend to more of Elendral's studies."
Right? And with those two on their way, time to go and talk to people. So, with any luck, I probably will go around and try to canvass the village and ask about said serpent. See who actually was willing to open up.
Yeah, communication on this one. I
think there is actually an investigation focus.
Yes, there is.
I don't have it. I was thinking about it once, but I'll just roll communication. 13. So as I go around, let's see how far that gets me.
Well, you're not. A lot of the elves kind of just ignore you.
Mhm.
They don't want anything to do with you and anything like that. One of the elves does perk up and mentions, "Oh, you're the humans that have come for trade, yes?"
Yes, that's me, Percival Donovan, at your service. Pleasure.
That's a long name.
It's a long name with a long history to it.
Oh, well, sadly, we don't know much about history for ourselves other than the traditions by the keepers and the elders.
Well, you have a new bit of history here. It seems like you've made a fine village for yourselves.
Thank you. This has all been the ideas of Alendril.
And they've led you
Oh,
well.
yes, yes. Oh,
Speaking of... Oh, go ahead.
yes. Oh, yes. What is it you wish?
Speaking of, Alindril had mentioned that to the north you all had been having trouble with a serpent of some type. I was hoping
Oh,
perhaps someone here had seen it themselves or would happen to have known more on their own trips.
I am too young to actually go out into the hunt, but I've heard the stories from the survivors. We lost 7 members of the clan against this creature.
Oh dear. Well, what have they told you? What stories did they bring back? What happened?
Monstrosity the size of a mountain, biting and gnashing its jaws at people in the lakes and rivers.
Did they mention how it came about? How maybe it how its attention came to them?
Unfortunately, not. Many of them were out into the sea itself, fishing when it first attacked, and it chased them to land. Even along the coastline, it still prowls this area. We don't know what it is. It's a creature that is right out of the depths of the depths of something of destructive. It's as if Fenrir Harel himself has like put a joke on us.
Hmm. I see. So it's out on the water. I don't have my own boat to go after it. Uh, some of those who have been there before, they definitely have a boat of some type. Do you think that they'd be willing to go out again?
No, everybody's been avoiding that area. We've been able to maintain most of our supplies, of course, but
Hmm.
there's bountiful fish and crab that we can grab in that space. It is rare that we have Dalish who have changed hunting hala and elk for fish and crab, but we found it to be easier and more sustainable, to be honest. But we are avoiding that spot. If you
Hmm.
really, your best bet is probably to speak to, well, if you can, speak to Arir.
Who is the rear?
He is he's one of the survivors from the previous hunting party went to slay the beast. But he's the only one that willingly speaks about what happened.
Then I suppose I should go to him. He might know more. Would you do me a favor to introduce me?
Oh, I think Arir. Well, I could try, but uh, yes, I guess I can do that. I hope he doesn't yell at me for being out of place.
I'll try to take the hit for you.
Yes. the
Maybe all the bold text.
Oh, that's like old school EverQuest. I love that.
Oh, it really is. But no, you found my improv strategy Tell me more about the Reapers.
Tell me more about the Legion in the NCR. I love that game, but after a while, yeah, I don't want to hear it anymore. Anyway,
Mhm.
You go. The young elf that you're with takes you to. Let's see, where would he be? Like in the far back, like over here.
Boop.
There is a platform, and there is a like almost looks like a platform where one would sit, as if they like made like a makeshift sort of like deck that is very close to the water. You notice under it is a tarp and um, I guess like if you had to guess, would be like almost like a small tent or tarp where they would be living here.
Hmm. Okay.
And the young elf shouts, "Mr. Arir, are you there? Arir?" You notice like he's quivering in his voice, and then out from the tent you see what looks like a something thrown at the young elf, and he kind of runs off.
Yeah, if it looked like it was actually gonna hit, I'd probably try to intercept. But if he runs off, that's fine.
Yeah, no,
I'll
he. I'm sorry, and they just wanted to speak as he runs away.
poor kid. So I'll go ahead and turn and say, "Arir, please, I have come to speak. I'm Percival Donovan. I'm here to speak of the serpent that you met."
The minute you say the serpent, you see a head poke out of the tent, and you see this very old-looking elf. Um, like what's left of his hair is just like silvery and mottled. You notice that he's wearing a more traditional hunter's garb compared to the other people in the village.
Mm-hmm.
But most notably, you notice he has a blindfold on.
Interesting. Dang, he didn't see nothing.
And he says, "You wish to speak about the Cetus?"
That's right. If we speak of the same thing, I was told that you were on the hunting party, that I had seen it.
It was my last hunt. It was to be a glorious one, too. A prey that was worthy of the Dalish might. Why do you wish to see it? Do you wish to steal the glory of that away from us, Shem?
Steal the glory? No, of course not. But it harasses your village, and your elders, Ailish, your first, have asked me to be rid of it, for the betterment of the village.
It
You've
is
treated me all
like
with kindness, I only wish to return it.
it is like a Lendril to pass on tasks to people who cross by. If it were up to me, we wouldn't even let you in here, Shem.
Well, if I might make an offer, from what I've heard previously, you all were out on the water when it attacked.
Yes. Where we don't belong either.
I do not think if I were to only work from shore, I could draw its attention. If you were perhaps to come with us, or, well, lend us your boat, and maybe some skill, perhaps you could have the glory instead.
He laughs for a minute. He says, "Do I look like I care about going into the water, Shem? Staying here is a big mistake for our people. We should migrate further north already. But no. Instead, Elendril stays in her tower, trying to figure out its secrets."
Hmm. Yeah. Percival's just gonna think about that, but not entirely comment. Instead, he'll go ahead and shift the subject and go, well, this seems like a good place. It's good. It's defensible. Its resources plentiful by the sounds of it.
Typical
I can think of
Shemlin.
nothing better.
Typical Shemlin thinking, however.
Perhaps. Well, one way or another, I do wish to fell this serpent. Please, if there's anything you can do for us, anything you
This
could
would,
say, any boat you could lend us.
this would be negotiation at this point.
Okay. Is negotiation a skill,
It
or would
should
it
be
just
a
be persuasion?
persuasion, excuse me. I'm thinking of like 3 different systems.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. So let's go ahead and hit up some persuasion 18.
Oh, he actually might have to listen now.
I'm the communicator now. I'm the captain.
Yeah, he actually rolled pretty good on his empathy here, but not enough. You see Ariel sigh, and he says, "Well, I do not have a boat. You can ask one of the other young ones to see if they wish to venture those waters. However, I can tell you where you need to go.
That would be excellent. Please.
To the west here, along the coastline, you'll see 3 islands. Excuse me, 2 islands. Oh, I had it right the first time. 3 islands. I'm looking at my map. It's one that you've seen already.
Right.
Along these islands, along the islands is where the creature mostly dwells. We've seen the water is deep enough for it to go underground quickly. You can't miss this place.
This is good. And what are these islands like? Are they shallow? Steep?
The first is shallow. After that, they get steeper and steeper. The third island leads to a small crest of a hill. The top of the hill seemed to be some sort of site or ritual. Perhaps it was something the Shemlin held dear. I couldn't say.
Well, I doubt the serpent goes there to pray or anything. But
Is
good
that
to know.
the joke?
It is! You can't see it right now, but I'm smiling and smirking to myself, and now I feel like a fool. Thank you.
You know, when I was a younger man, I would have shot you.
Well, nothing stops you now.
Just be out of my sight, Shemlin, and if you wish to die, so be it.
I thank you one way or another for your assistance, Sarir. You've been a great help. Thank you.
We shall see.
All right. Now to go harass the youngins for a boat.
We got a weird chain of stuff here. I gotta ask: is Acedia and is Marius doing anything at the moment?
Not really. He's got questions, but he figures it'll be good after they kill the monster.
I will kind of look at Marius and kind of ask, so, what do you think about this tower business?
The tower? What tower? The monster the size of 3 towers, or the tower in this village?
Well, this one right here.
I mean, it's an old Taventa tower used to guard this route, I guess.
Right. But, well, I mean, with what's happening with it right now, they mentioned that there's something strange about it before, and they kind of let it slide. I assumed if it may hurt your interest, you would have asked questions. And then it seems that it's entirely the reason that they've stopped here. I don't know any of this magic business. I'd hope maybe you'd have more insight.
Sure. Oh. Maris wasn't really listening at that point. I mentioned the weird tower. So
Well, I mean, if you
just
don't
look
think
at
it's
it.
a bother, there's no reason for us to bother with it.
He'll look at it and pretend to be like, sure, I'll look at it. And then
Percival just crosses his arms so slowly at you.
he'll, I don't know, open himself up to the magic in the area to see if anything's weird.
Magic sense test?
Sure. Is there a magic sense test in Dragon Age?
No. You can roll magic arcane. No, that's arcane lands.
Spirit?
You can roll the magic, and you can roll spirit. I'll let you know if it has anything to do with it.
Um, 14 without the extra 2. Oh, wait. 18
Well, you
with
know
the
that
extra 2.
you know that Tevinter, like for a long time, like subjugated the elves and took parts of their culture away from them. You also know that a lot of the Dalish are very aware that they basically are preserving traditions, traditions that may or may not actually even exist, if that makes any sense. Like what fragments of what they have and what new traditions they've created have kind of filled the gap of what their past history was. So it could be a situation. Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
Yep.
I lost it again. My headphones are not working, which is not
I haven't
good.
heard the Windows sound that they got unplugged.
Yeah. What was the last thing I said?
Dalish and their traditions that may not
Okay. Yeah, the cultural traditions are more or less like dying, and they're trying to fill in the gaps with what they know and what pieces they have left. And if you had to suspect anything, there could be in your head. It's like there could be spirits or demons here that could be telling them bits of like old Dalish lore in exchange for stuff.
Ooh.
But you don't know if that's really what's going on. You suspect that might be it, because that's what you would do.
It's sort of a question I was going to ask him, but yeah, I'll wait till after.
Oh, really?
I probably won't mention that to the Ferelden Noble, though, that they may or may not be communicating with spirits/demons.
Totally up to you what you want to do.
I would say, yeah, it's a weird thing to tell. There's probably residue wards or something in the area that's just making it seem weird.
Roll a bluff? I don't have to roll bluff. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No.
So you have no idea then?
Nope.
In the future, I'm gonna have to start doing the old Ironclaw thing where I ask, "What skills do you have for this task?"
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I'm mostly because I feel like I'm like leading you on too much sometimes, and if I am, please let me know.
It's all good. Well, I guess it's a mystery that doesn't have to necessarily involve us. There's real people here with real things that they need to bother with, not this magical stuff. So, I'm gonna go harass those kids.
You find some of
In
the
case you ever
fisher.
kill a dragon before, do you want to?
No, and they run away.
But no, I'm gonna be slightly more diplomatic than that. I'm gonna go and try to speak to them about, oh yes, I've spoken with the rear. He's just maybe one of you could offer your boat. Maybe you could take me out towards the islands, guarantee your safety, etc., etc. Is kind of what I'm going for.
Why do you wish for the boat?
Well, your first has suggested that I go and slay the serpent that has harassed you in that region.
I'm not going back out there.
Well, I would wish if someone could actually sail a boat for me, but if that's the case, perhaps I could merely borrow it and return it upon my victory. Would that be acceptable? I have
Yes,
no need to
yes.
put you into danger if you don't wish to be there.
Roll a persuasion on that.
All right.
Actually, no. This would be negotiation because you're trying to get the boat.
Okay. In which case, I don't have negotiation, so I'll just hit 15.
15's pretty good.
Talker succeeds.
They tied you.
Hey.
One of the hunters, she says, will this destroy the beast?
That's my intent.
And you're willing to help us and sacrifice yourselves to go against this creature?
Of course. I'm Percival Donovan. It is my right and duty as nobility to do what I can for the people.
I will lend you my ship, but I just hope that you do not have it destroyed.
I'll do everything I can in my power to personally come back in one piece, which, in all honesty, I hope should mean that your boat will too.
You're given the boats, and you gotta realize that these are small, like rowboats, basically.
Right. So the primary idea I have going forward is, all right, we're going to have to row out to the island and probably beach on the shallow island and work from there.
Probably.
So that's currently my plan. I'm going to look to Marius and go, well, are you ready? Big serpent, great adventure.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what we need to kill a serpent the size of 3 towers. So yes, let's go.
Now, I would ask, hey, does our spirit buddy hop on? But I wonder if we'd even notice. He's full invisible now, I think.
You know what? I have no idea.
I think Marius is still the one that's only like somewhat aware that a Mosca person may still be around.
Mm-hmm.
And has Marius divulged that information?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it really seems like Marius should be like a lot more concerned about it, even maybe angry, since, you know, Mosca had all the money and everything.
He's aware.
Probably.
Hidden away forever now.
Everything is gone. Shit.
Hey, remember that time everyone almost died to a sloth demon, and now your friends won? Yeah, good times.
That's okay. I got the Sloth Demon's hand, so
All right.
I'm just saying, hey, remember every time you got out of jail or out of a 6-month contract?
So
I'm still amazed you got out of that 6-month contract so quickly. I was gonna fleece you dry and just make you all die in the deep roads, but no, you gotta sneak through that one.
So I'm gonna assume that, as you mentioned, 3 islands, that these are probably out in the water, and this area probably does not exist.
As islands tend to be.
Yeah, pretty much. This is as we're gonna do it. I was actually gonna make the map slightly smaller.
No, you're wrong, Griffin. These are those land-based islands.
Exactly. Oh, they could be inverted islands. They could be little bits of water in the land.
There, I fixed
Those are
it.
called lakes. Only go to the
Sometimes they're
ones that
just
you're used
puddles.
to.
All right. There we go. So these are just rowboats. I assume I don't really need to make a roll to get out here, or is it going to be that difficult?
It's not that difficult. The sea is relatively calm today.
Okay. And so I'll go ahead and beach myself over here at this first island. We'll get off. And I'll look to Marius and go, well, I suppose it couldn't hurt to look around first. And then the music swells, so I guess it could hurt.
That was too loud. I'm so sorry.
There we go, just slightly in the background there.
Anyway, all right. So, you're gonna start searching?
Indeed. I suppose as long as we're here. So, first island, cross the bridge. Let's go cross to the second and look around.